Station, this is Houston. Are you ready for the event?
Houston, this is Station. I'm ready for the event.
European Space Agency and participants, this is Mission Control Houston. Please call Station for a voice check.
Okay, so
Here we go.
Station.
Wow.
So, so Station, this is the Nobel Prize Museum in Stockholm. How do you hear me?
I've got you loud and clear. Welcome to the International Space Station.
Thank you so much. And fantastic to see you. We are here at the Nobel Prize Museum in Stockholm with an amazing audience and Nobel Prize laureates, Professor Krauss and Professor Bawendi, and they are ready and eager to ask you questions. So please.
Hi, Andreas Ferenc here. Actually, I would be very interested in such a levitating micro. I understand that you are doing quite some research at the space station. What kind of research is that?
Well, it's very, very wide range of research. Just in the last week or so, I've been looking at brain cells and how they age. I've been working with our biofabrication facility up here, which essentially is a 3D printer capable of printing human tissue or human organ equivalents. I've also been studying giant lightning strikes in the upper atmosphere called blue jets and red sprites. And I've been just today giving a lot of different types of blood samples, urine samples, saliva samples as part of a few different physiological studies. So the research up here really spans the gamut from physics, chemistry, biology, human physiology, material science, almost anything you can imagine.
Cool, really, really broad. And what kind of questions is this research being driven by? What is your favorite question you would like to answer?
Well, I mean, some of it is some of the research that really fascinates me are the big questions like the alpha magnetic spectrometer that's on the outside of the space station, that's really trying to look at the universe, how it formed and how it's evolved. Also the question of life. Later on in this mission, if we're lucky, we'll be going on a spacewalk, and one of the tasks we'll be doing is to collect biological samples from the outside of the space station near some of the vents to see if any microorganisms might have escaped through those vents and might still be surviving on the outside of the space station. So understanding life and the type of environments that it can survive in, I think also is fascinating, because it goes to the core of the question of what is life, how did life arise, and what are the limitations, if there are any, to life.
Truly exciting. These are really, really fundamental questions. But is there anything that can actually benefit us here in our everyday life, kind of from the research you are doing? Any chance?
Certainly. I mean, it's kind of hard to predict when we're talking about the fundamental science that we're doing up here, but I'm certain that in the future that'll contribute as well. But we're also doing a lot of applied research up here, which can have a direct benefit on Earth. In particular, we're looking at a lot of different sustainable technologies. At the moment, we're recycling about 95% of our water on board the space station. And so understanding what it takes to create a closed-loop life support system up here so that we can be truly sustainable is something that can also benefit us on Earth as we transition to a greener and more circular economy in the future.
Very interesting. This sounds really convincing that it can be important for us, actually will be important for us. You yourself are also kind of part of all those experiments. How does the human body physiology cope with these kind of very unusual conditions?
Well, our bodies are certainly impacted by weightlessness and many other factors, including space radiation that we're exposed to. Some of the things we understand quite well: the loss of muscle mass, the loss of bone density that occurs because we're not using our muscles and our bones in weightlessness, and we counteract that through exercise, 2 hours every day. But there are other things where we're still learning how our immune system is impacted by stress factors. We're studying that. We're looking at how the blood is redistributed in our bodies, which can cause increased pressure in the brains, which can affect our vision. These things are newer and are still being studied, and we're still learning. So there are many things that we're still studying when it comes to human physiology in space. That'll be important as we travel further into space. As the first step back to the moon, and hopefully in the not too distant future onwards to Mars.
Really cool. Actually, I would be very interested if we would have time. We don't, but if we would have time, what kind of exercises are you doing there? Certainly not weightlifting, I guess, right? But anyway, let's just go to a more interesting question. I've heard that actually you also brought some metal with you, some very, very special metal. Is it true? And could you possibly show it to us?
It is true. I brought with me the Nobel medal.
Wow.
Niels Bohr won. I have it here.
So
let me see if I can open it.
Wow, truly impressive. And this is the medal of whom, actually?
I got to be careful things don't fly away from me. This is the medal that the Danish physicist Niels Bohr won.
Right. Thank you very much, Andreas. Actually, I would now like to hand over the stage to my colleague here, Professor Bawendi, who would also like to ask you some questions.
Hi, Andreas. This is Munji Bawendi. You've been in the space station for some time now. Is it the way you expected that it would be? I mean, I see a lot of wires everywhere.
Yeah, this is my second mission, so I knew what I was getting into when I came up here. But it's definitely true. The first time I arrived in 2015 for my first mission, I was a little bit surprised, especially about the size of the space station. It's hard to truly understand how large the space station is. It is an incredible laboratory that we have assembled in space over the last 25 years. And to think that the first module was launched in 1998 and that the space station has been permanently inhabited by astronauts since November 2000. So for more than 23 years, we've had a permanent presence up here on board the space station. I think that's amazing. And the space station has really grown to this magnificent laboratory, which unfortunately is not so tidy looking as you've noticed.
There's some samples of quantum dots that are actually on the outside of the space station being tested for stability in outer space. Is that anything you have to do with? Do you like baby them or feed them, or what do you do with them, if anything?
Well, our involvement is that in that experiment is to help them get to the outside of the space station. So typically an experiment like that, we will prepare internally, load it onto the slide table in the airlock, and then send it outside from where the robotic arm will pick it up and install it. And then it runs more or less autonomously once it's outside.
Okay, all right. Well, we'll see how they behave when they come back to Earth. When you're looking out on our planets, from space. Do you have any reflections and any thoughts about the difference from when you're on Earth to when you're in space looking at Earth?
Seeing the Earth from space is truly magnificent, and a lot of things run through your mind as you're looking at our beautiful planet. One thing is that you very quickly realize that it's one planet. It's not 195 or 200 different countries. It's one planet that we all share together. And really, you don't see borders between countries. And so you also realize that borders and countries, nation states, are something man-made, artificial in some way. And therefore, that we're all just humans living on the same planet. And if we could learn to live peacefully side by side, many of our daily challenges and problems would disappear because they are also man-made, unfortunately. Another thing you very quickly realize is that there's nothing that in any way resembles the Earth anywhere near us. The Earth is not only our home, it's our only home. And therefore we have to protect it. There is no other option for us if we damage the Earth. And so it's vitally important that we take care of our home. And then I say one third thing. When you look out at the universe and you see these billions and billions of stars surrounding us, you also realize what an insignificant part of the universe we are. And I think that's in some ways exciting, because when something is as incredibly large as the universe, it must mean that there are so many exciting discoveries, so many exciting opportunities waiting for us out there in the future. And I think that's truly what's so fascinating about space exploration, is that who knows what we'll find, simply because of the enormity of space. And so I think we have a lot of exciting things to look forward to in the future, discoveries to be made.
Super, that's incredible. And I think you've pretty much started answering my next question, which is what keeps you motivated? What has kept you motivated throughout your career? And do you have any special goals that you still want to accomplish as an astronaut?
Well, I mean, I think what motivates me is just the scientific questions of understanding the universe, understanding life, and our role in the universe. And what excites me at the moment is the fact that we're ready to take the next step again. We're ready to go back to the moon, hopefully this time to stay, and hopefully after that onwards to Mars. Mars is going to be incredibly exciting. It'll hopefully help us answer some of these questions about how life arose, and if there ever was life on Mars. Mars is certainly one of the better places to search for life outside of the Earth. And so I think we have a very, very exciting future ahead of us in space exploration, and I hope to be part of it.
Great. I can't wait to hear I can't wait for the answer on the issue about life on Mars. Now, this is a question that we've been asked quite a bit also for our own science. What is your advice to young students with a passion for space science and exploration? What would you say to them?
I would say, follow your hearts, do what interests you, but at the same time, be flexible, grasp those opportunities that arise, because you never know which path in life will lead you to your goal. It's very rarely a straight line. It's usually curved, and usually there are surprises along the way, surprises that will positively impact your life. In my own case, I was always fascinated by space exploration. It's what I wanted to do. I became an aerospace engineer with the goal of becoming an astronaut. But along the way, I got offered a job in the oil industry, and I ended up working a couple years on oil rigs off the coast of Congo and Angola. And if I hadn't taken that opportunity, I probably never would have been selected as an astronaut, because to be an astronaut, you also have to have some practical operational experience. And working in the oil field gave me that, even though I never would have expected it. So follow your goals, but don't be afraid to grasp the opportunities that arise along the way.
Oh, fascinating. Something so different actually can be applied to what you're doing there in outer space. Well, Andreas, do you have any questions for us?
I do. I would love to hear your opinion on the state of our knowledge or understanding of nature. How far are we? Do we understand most of the universe, or can we expect any groundbreaking discoveries that might fundamentally change our understanding of the universe, of life, and everything around us?
Want to take that?
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Very kind of you. Well, my answer would be that we are at the very beginning. So the more we learn, the more we know how much we don't know. And I'm pretty sure, pretty confident that big discoveries are ahead of us in several areas of science and technology. And I think it's an extremely exciting time that we are heading, and I can only encourage all young people with some interest in science and in having some curiosity to move into this field and join us, and eventually then carry on once we cannot anymore.
I couldn't say it any better. We're just scratching the surface.
Well, I certainly appreciate that that answer, because that helps to motivate me, and hopefully will also motivate and inspire the next generation of scientists and engineers.
Excellent.
So thank you so much, Andreas Mogensen, for taking the time to talk with us. I know you are extremely busy, so thank you for that. And I hope that you can hear a very warm applause from the earth up to you.
Thank you so much. It was a pleasure. The pleasure is all mine. I appreciate the chance to speak to two Nobel laureates, and congratulations on winning the ultimate prize in science.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Station, this is Houston ACR. That concludes the event.
Thank you to the European Space Agency and all participants. Station, we're now resuming operational audio communications.